Okay, there's a very dreamy energy that is coming through for you here. I'm hearing dreamboat, so it feels like this person is really attractive, really handsome. Their energy's good, they're looking good. This is somebody with a really good fashion sense. They clean up very well, they present very well. Something where it feels like this might even be a situation of like the best looking person that you've ever dated, that you've ever talked to, that you've ever been starting to get to know. And this may be something that it feels like for this person, this has been like an issue before for them in terms of like people only see the surface and nobody really takes the time to kind of recognize this person is more than just an attractive face. This is something where a lot of people might kind of typically gravitate towards this person as like clout chasing sort of energy, or something that is very, they've been in a lot of very ego based connections. And so this is somebody that's giving off kind of like a guarded vibe because of that. Few people have taken the time to kind of look beyond the surface. Few people have taken the time to really start to kind of see this individual as like somebody with their own thoughts and feelings and, you know, dreams and fears. And so it feels like for some of you, this you may be experiencing the same thing. That may be kind of, you know, the way your life has played out as well. And so it feels like there's a lot of mirroring going on here, a lot of energy, you know, that's kind of like matched, or where you're able to really understand where each other is coming from. It may be something that this person was kind of like jaded as far as connections were concerned when they met you. But there's a sense of like you make them feel very seen. You make them feel very respected as a person. They trust you. And so it feels like this is something where this is somebody who's starting to let their guard down. They're starting to really relax in your presence, or they're wanting to start to do that because there's a sense of almost like you're not just looking at me as a circumstance or a person that is going to like lift you up socially. You're not just looking at me as somebody that's going to, you know, be like an accessory, like you'll look good on my arm or I'll look good on your arm, and it'll all just be about the presentation and show. Although it feels like this person is really thinking that the two of you would make a cute couple, an attractive couple, like they've met their match in some sort of way, as far as looks is concerned, as far as personality is concerned, energy is concerned, intellect is concerned. Like they're seeing you as the full package. And there's a sense of really feeling that your interactions with them so far, like you're wanting to get to know them beyond the surface. You actually care about who they are as a full package. And so it feels like at this particular point in time, wherever you're at in your dynamic with one another, there's a sense of almost, it's taking a lot of pressure off of kind of like wounds that they've experienced in the past. Situations where they gave their time, they gave their energy, they gave their heart to people, that they were just kind of looking at this individual as somebody to like use or take advantage of, something that would like improve the other person's social standing or how it looked to other people. Like it was just all about the image. And so this is something where they didn't have very high hopes, very high expectations. Somebody that's like, well, nobody really cares to get to know the real me, so I guess I'll just have to play along. That's just the game. That's just the reality of what love is about. This person could be a romantic at heart, and they've had that illusion shattered on more than one occasion. But there's something where they're starting to kind of look at things from a different perspective. There's a part of this person that is kind of drawn to you as like, maybe you're not like everybody else. Maybe you care about who I am as a person. Maybe I could really count on you to be here for me, and that you would allow me to be here for you as well, in more than just as long as it looks good in photos, as long as it looks good on the surface. So it feels like you're awakening something within this person on a deeper level. This may be kind of the beginning stages of like a dreamy romance, steamy and dreamy. It feels like this is something that is really like turning this person on. It's making them, you know, want to kind of like give themselves to you or have certain experiences with you, to experience what they're capable of as far as like romance and even as a lover, in a way that like previous people almost, they didn't earn that privilege. They couldn't access this part of this individual because it became very apparent that it was all just for show. And so it feels like that's something that kind of has kept a part of this person under lock and key, but somehow you've turned up in their life, you turned up in their reality, and it's like a door has opened inside of them, where they're starting to or wanting to kind of let an aspect of themselves out that hasn't often seen the light of day in romance or ever. Yeah, meeting you is the best thing that ever happened to me. So you have restored this person's belief in love, a belief in like fairy tale love, which is interesting. This person, again, they might have been like a romantic, or they had certain, dreams or ideas of kind of like what love would look like based on movies that they watched growing up, books that they read growing up, love songs that they listened to. It feels like this person, when they started off, in their love life at some point in time in the past, they gave their all to situations hoping that it would play out like a fairy tale, and it turned out to be sort of like a nightmare. And it was just the same rerun each and every time, where they were let down each and every time. It became very apparent that they had not connected with anyone that really like cared about them as a person or was aligned with the same things. They might have had a lot of people that just used them, a lot of takers that came into their life. This person may also, in addition to being like good looking, they may be somebody who, has a certain degree of wealth, has a certain degree of affluence, has a certain degree of privilege, or they have the kind of personality, that really kind of shifts the climate of whatever room or situation that they are in. This is somebody who can like get things done. And so it feels like previous romantic partners, most or all of them, saw that within this person, kind of like took their kindness for weakness or used them as like a stepping stone, like clout chaser kind of energy. And so it feels like this dream that this person had of like, I want to be in this deep romance, I want to be part of a power couple, that has wilted over time, but you've brought something like that back to life. You're encouraging this person to kind of dream again, or think not just in terms of like love from the lens of everything that they've had to maybe learn the hard way, but there's a sense of like an innocence that's returning to this. There's like a sweetness returning to this person of like, maybe you're the type of individual that can understand this part of me, this desire, this yearning to like exchange with another person in this way, to really be seen for who I am as a person. Maybe you're that individual, that all those efforts won't go to waste, or that you can like see and appreciate and value me as more than just kind of how I appear, or what I can do for you. Yeah, and we have, I will be reaching out soon. So this is somebody that's like stepping beyond their comfort zone. This is somebody that wants to kind of start to explore bigger romantic gestures, more kind of like deep conversations. There may be things about this person that are very surprising in terms of like what they're capable of in the name of love. Ways in which they have kind of, this is almost somebody that is like multilingual in terms of their love language. So whatever you've experienced of this person so far, it's like there's so many more layers to them, and they're now eager to explore those things with you, to share those things with you, to demonstrate the multifaceted ways in which they have a capability of giving love, and also openness within them to kind of receive the love and affection that you have to give more fully. So you might have even, dealt with like emotionally unavailable people. You made effort and it wasn't reciprocated. It feels like this person has also gone through a lot of that. So you guys might have met each other at a time where you've come to understand certain karmic cycles. You were very well, familiar with those, or well versed in those. And now you both have encountered one another as like, okay, the status quo. Here's something different. Here's something that is outside of the ordinary. And it's like exactly what both of you have always wanted. hadn't experienced fully before with anyone else, and most likely had gotten to the point of like, well, maybe I'm just not gonna find it. The standards are too high, it's too unrealistic. So this is something where this is almost kind of like a renewal of some sort of like deeper urges within, in terms of like, this is what love should be like, this is what partnership should be like, this is what affection should be like between two people. Yeah, and they also say, I can feel your energy even when we are apart. So there could be like a telepathic bond between the two of you, something, you know, like an energetic, empathic bond. It feels like this person is very aware of that. It's something that they are kind of exploring that. So you may feel this person kind of like reaching for you energetically. You may kind of get signs or synchronicities or like an awareness of, I think they're going to call, I think I'm going to hear from them. And, you know, then they pop up on the phone. It's something that it feels like that's a two-way street, that energy of like, we're connected beyond words. They're feeling this too. It's something that they recognize, something that they acknowledge, something that they're looking at as kind of one of the rare qualities of your bond, something that is like indicating to this person, okay, I'm comfortable with them on these deeper levels. This person may be like psychic or very sensitive in general, and it could be something that they just don't share with a lot of people. But it's part of how they navigate through the world. What's the vibe that this gives off? How is my, you know, body or my energetic body responding or reacting to like people or situations? They may have had to really kind of hone those abilities or focus on that awareness after having so many experiences with people that were just using them, that were just takers. They might have dealt with a lot of narcissists. So this is somebody that's kind of like battle tested. They're battle worn as far as, you know, love is concerned. They've not had the easiest path forward. They've had to learn a lot of things the hard way. This might be somebody who in the past wore their heart on their sleeve, and they paid a very hefty price for that. And so it feels like they've kind of retracted that. They've sort of developed like an armor or a hard exterior where they don't show that as easily. They hold their cards very close to their chest. They don't show their hand before they play it. But with you, there's almost a sense of kind of like, okay, I can ease back over that, off of that defensiveness, off of that guardedness. Maybe you are, you know, somebody who is going to experience the way in which I want to love, that I naturally love, that it is kind of in my nature to exchange with other people emotionally or energetically, and maybe my heart is in safekeeping with you. Yeah, and they also say, I know we belong together. So again, there's a sense of like a lot of mirroring in this situation. You may be already kind of, you know, getting the feeling that like, hey, I think this could be leading to something serious. I think this may be somebody that has long-term potential. They are checking off all the boxes as far as like what you were hoping to experience on the outside of a choice to break free from some kind of cycle, raise your standards, you know, maybe like love yourself, heal yourself, and kind of have some kind of glow up. You've called this person into your reality because they're matching you on that higher plane, on that higher frequency. And they're seeing you as well as somebody that like you are a reward, you're a prize that they can reach for, that they can strive towards. The more they are willing to kind of like step beyond the assumptions of the nature of love and romance as they have experienced it up to this point in their life versus kind of like what's possible with you. So it feels like you're both reaching for that faith inside of yourselves. Like, okay, it feels like this is going to be different. This might be kind of what I've been waiting for, what I've been preparing for, what I've been hoping for. There's almost the sense though of, because there's kind of like armor that's on and people's guards that are up, like prior to meeting one another, that it's a slow process of like, okay, we've got to disarm ourselves slowly. We got to kind of, you know, de-escalate these triggers or this urge towards self-protectiveness, or whatever you've needed to kind of adapt within yourselves, you know, to learn those kind of tough lessons in love with other people. The process of like evolving beyond that, it's something that is happening slowly, but this person is savoring every moment of that. It feels like it's very delicious for them, kind of the experience of like, wow, these exchanges that we have, these conversations that we have, these intimate moments that we have, the eye contact that we have, even just kind of like sitting and thinking about you and sort of feeling you energetically, it's really doing something to kind of draw their attention towards a better future and away from whatever they've needed to do to kind of just cope or get into survival mode in the aftermath of like heartbreaks from the past. Yeah, and they also say I got triggered. So this is somebody that they are very aware that like they are guarded. They have a tough exterior. They may be very stoic, but inside this is somebody that's like a teddy bear. This is somebody that is a very emotional person, a very sensitive person, and they don't let that guard down very easily. And so this is almost like somebody who is getting ready to show you like a gesture of trust, something where they invite you in, they let you in, or something where they are more expressive to you, not just in a way that makes their intentions known, but something that is kind of like starting a trend towards really sweet things, really affectionate things, things that might almost be reflective of like they were actively listening to things that you said, interests that you expressed that you had, and it's something that kind of corresponds with that, a special date that they plan around those things, some kind of gift, some kind of token of affection, a memento that demonstrates like I see you for who you are, I see your interest, I recognize your style, I recognize kind of the vibe that you're putting out in the world, and I'm responding to that. Something where they're not just trying to kind of win you over, but it's something that like there are things about you that really align with kind of what they like, what they're resonating with, or even just a kind of a level of authenticity within you, your willingness to kind of like be yourself despite all the ways in which life might have tried to kind of crunch you down into a lesser version of yourself, and you've continued to shine your light outward. This person recognizes that, and there's a sense of like, I want to honor that. And so they're getting ready to kind of soften to you or invite you into that soft space, on the other side of that armor, on the other side of that stoicism. They also say, I've never felt this way before. Yeah, so you definitely bring a part of this person out into the light that has been dormant for quite some time. You make them feel things they haven't felt in quite some time. You're kind of leading them back into that sort of dreamy energy. So there's something more that they want to experience with you, as far as like a love that is out of the ordinary, a love that, takes kind of full advantage of all of this potential between the two of you to really have experiences, to co-create experiences with one another that are beyond the nature of like habitual disappointments that you've experienced with other people in the past. So this person sees like spending time with you or letting themselves really sit in those feelings, in that heart space, it's very healing for them. It's something that is very refreshing. This may be something as well, that they're getting their spark back. They're getting their kind of enthusiasm or their passion for life back. Other areas of their life may be very positively affected at this time because there's something in the internal mechanisms that has changed within this person, or is starting to change because you've restored hope to them in some sort of way. So it's like many areas of their life are blossoming at this point. They also say, is it too late to apologize? So it feels like they want to make up for the fact that it may have been they're like a tough nut to crack. It may be something where it's taken time to kind of get beyond that shell. This is a very self-aware person. They recognize there was like a period of time, and I'm hearing I wasn't always like this. So it feels like there's something where they may not be able to kind of name that or speak on that directly, but there's an awareness of like a version of them that is most natural, that existed beyond like a road of heartbreak, or a very substantial heartbreak that just sort of changed something within them. You met like a somewhat healed version of them, it feels like, or the version of them that kind of developed that armor, developed that stoicism, but that's not like who they really are. That's not the most authentic version of them. And so there's a sense of like you've earned a place in their heart. You've kind of like come into their life, and you've turned a very bright light on inside of them, to where it's like, if anybody is worthy or deserving of this kind of beauty that I'm capable of, these deep feelings, these tender moments maybe that other people in the past took for granted, you're somebody that is worthy of these things. You're worthy of invitation into that like sacred space inside of me, that softness inside, the place where romance romance is a thing, love is a thing, a dreamy kind of experience is a thing where we can have beautiful experiences as a beautiful couple and can actively work towards building a beautiful life with one another. So it feels like this apology is going to be in the form of efforts to kind of connect with you again on more of that deep emotional level, more of a sensual level, more of like a conscientious lover, a conscientious type of love. And they also say, I know we are soulmates. Yeah, so this person is definitely very excited about the future with you. They want to continue to explore kind of the threshold and the parameters of both of your comfort zones and to ease beyond that gradually. This is somebody that really enjoys your company. They love the way that you make them feel inside. They love making you smile. I love making you blush. So, that may be in the nature of kind of like what they're planning is things that are very sweet, things that are very sentimental, things that are very meaningful, because there's a sense of like the joy that you radiate when you are loved properly, and they've only maybe gotten a glimpse of that so far. It's something that is very appealing to this person, where it almost was like something that is like renewed a sense of purpose within them. Almost like I wasn't given this romantic heart for nothing. I wasn't given this kind of like sensitivity for nothing. I wasn't given this deep emotional potential as a person for nothing. Like you're the cup that they've been waiting to pour into. You're the person that they've been kind of like hoping to find that has been elusive for them up to this point in time. They had to walk a road of heartbreak in order to encounter you. So you've restored a lot of hope to this person, and it feels like they want to show that to you. They want to demonstrate that to you. They want you to know that they don't just see you as, kind of an option, that you are somebody that holds a very special place in their heart, and that they're very excited for kind of like what develops next in your connection with one another. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Please give the video a like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. And don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I put up a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.